everyone. Welcome to Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin. I'm your host, Olivia Atkin. Each week, we will discuss the roadmap of achieving your personal and professional success. And today's episode is a little different because it's just you and me. In these solo episodes, I pull back the curtain on podcasting, entrepreneurship, and personal success. You'll hear the strategies I use, the lessons I've learned, and the honest stories that have shaped me. So you can build not just a successful podcast, but a business and life you're proud of. My goal is to help you cut through the noise, avoid the mistakes most podcasters and entrepreneurs make, and focus on what actually works. So if you're ready to grow with clarity and confidence, let's dive in. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Over 90% of podcasts never make it past 20 episodes. Think about that. Thousands of shows launch every year, but the majority fizzle out in less than 6 months. And it's not because people don't have great ideas or valuable things to say. It's because of three main reasons I see again, and again, and again. The first is unrealistic expectations, thinking success will come overnight. The second is a lack of systems, treating podcasting like a hobby instead of building structure around it. Thirdly, losing connection to their why, forgetting why they started it in the first place. From the beginning, I told myself, if one person feels seen, I've done my job. That was my why. And then the show took off faster than I expected. Within 30 days, Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin had hundreds of downloads and was streaming in 8 countries. But even in that momentum, I reminded myself, stay grounded. Success isn't about numbers. Success is about connection. Keeping that mindset helped me build systems early so the podcast wouldn't be a quick burst of excitement, but something sustainable long term. So let's talk about the traps that cause most podcasters to quit. The first trap is perfectionism. This one stops so many people before they even start. I can't tell you how many aspiring podcasters I've met who have recorded their first episode and then recorded it 5, 6, 7, even 10 times because it didn't feel perfect. Or they hold on to the belief that they need to have an entire season recorded, fully edited and flawless before they can even launch. And as you can see on my episodes, I stumble on words all the time. Nothing is perfect. And here's the truth. If you wait until it's perfect, you'll never release your podcast because perfect does not exist. Podcasting is about progress, not perfection. It's about connection, not flawless sound quality. And if you don't hit publish, no one will ever hear your message. Trap number 2 is chasing numbers instead of listeners. Yes, we all want big download numbers, but here's the thing. Downloads do not equal impact. I tell my clients all the time, and I live by this myself. I'd rather have 50 people in the room listening to my entire episode, fully engaged, than 1,000 downloads where most people turn off after 2 minutes. Because podcasting isn't about vanity metrics. It's about depth of connection. A small but loyal audience will always create more impact than a larger, distracted one. And when you focus on nurturing connection, growth follows. Trap 3 is trying to do it all alone. This is one of the biggest reasons I hear people say, right now isn't the right time to start a podcast. They're already busy, they're already overwhelmed, and they can't imagine adding one more thing to their plate. So they either put it off or they try to do everything themselves, one end of the spectrum or the other. If they're doing it all themselves, they're recording, editing, publishing, marketing, and it quickly becomes unsustainable. But the bigger issue isn't just the time. it's information. Without the right guidance, you'll waste countless hours trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and which advice online is even accurate. While having someone in your corner who not only lives and breathes podcasting, but also stays up to date with the industry shifts is critical. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels. Trap number 4, no clear roadmap. Strategy is everything. I emphasize this to every client I work with. You need a clear vision for your show. That means knowing the flow. Will you release one episode a week or every other week? Will you do all guest episodes or mix in solos? How many interviews will you schedule each month? Or where will they fall on the calendar? In your calendar. Too many podcasters burn out because they're winging it. They try to cover everything under the sun instead of deciding whether to niche down or stay broader. They don't have consistency, they don't have structure, and without that, listeners won't stick around. A roadmap gives you clarity, and clarity is what keeps both you and your audience engaged long term. So, how do you build a podcast that lasts? Here are some top strategies. 1, anchor in your why. Before every episode, I remind myself, if one person feels seen, I've done my job. That's kept me consistent through the ups and the downs. 2, set realistic expectations. Growth takes time. Most podcasts don't go viral, but consistency compounds. Your job is to show up every week. 3, build systems early. Batch record episodes. Have templates for outreach and marketing. Protect your time by setting a structure. Systems are what separate hobbyists from professionals. 4, engage with your audience. Your listeners aren't just numbers, they are people. Reply to DMs, ask questions, share behind the scenes. I had a listener reach out after hearing a solo anniversary episode, and that conversation turned into a consulting client. Why? Because I showed up as me. 5, invest in yourself. The podcasters who last are the ones who don't try to reinvent the wheel every single week. They get coaching, consulting, or tools that help them stay consistent. That's why I built offers at every stage of podcasting, so people do not have to quit. When I first launched this podcast, I never imagined it would grow into a business, consulting opportunities, or speaking engagements. Honestly, I didn't launch it with the intent of it becoming part of my career. I launched it because I believed stories matter and people need to feel less alone. And that belief is what's still true today. Podcasting has taught me so much about entrepreneurship, resilience, and change. It's taught me that success isn't about flashy numbers. It's about the consistent, quiet impact you make when someone says, that episode changed how I see myself. That's why I kept going. That's why I built systems. And that's why I now help others do the same. Because your voice matters, your story matters, and it deserves to be heard. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated, here's how we can grow together. Reach out and work with me. If you're ready to launch, grow, or scale your podcast the right way, I'd love to help. You'll find the link in the description. Let's take your vision and turn it into something sustainable, impactful, and successful. Share this episode with a friend or colleague who needs to hear it. Maybe they've been putting off their podcast. Maybe they started but feel stuck. Send this to them because you never know how much they might need to hear this message. Remember, your voice matters. Your story matters. And if you're ready to take it to the next step, I'm here to guide you. I'm Olivia Atkin, and this is Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and keep redefining what success looks like to you.